Today we will deal with the boundary layer theory. For this, we require the preliminary knowledge of laminar flow and turbulent. How was laminar flow defined in a fluid flow inside a pipeline? Okay, if it is a pipeline and some certain flow is flowing in the pipeline, if the Reynolds number is less than 2000, flow is said to be laminar. And if the Reynolds number is more than 4000, the flow is said to be turbulent. So in that way, mute all your mics. Okay, in that way, the laminar flow and turbulent flow in the pipeline pipe, where some flow is flowing, is defined. Here, what do you mean by real fluid and ideal fluid? What do you mean by ideal fluid? See, certain definitions are required to enter into boundary layer theory. So here we take a solid body and some flow is flowing. A real flow is flowing. Here, that's why I asked you, what do you mean by real fluid and ideal fluid? What is an ideal fluid?
The fluid which encounters
An ideal fluid is the one uh, which does not offer resistance for its flow. So there, the viscosity is zero. But all the fluids will have some viscosity in reality. Therefore, the boundary layer theory is applied to real fluids. So when a real fluid is flowing or a solid surface, like the one shown, a solid body in the ball shape has been taken and some flow is flowing with a velocity capital E. And see, near the solid surface, which is called boundary, there is a variation of velocity has been shown. See, and there is a dotted line shown from the starting point of the solid body, and it is moving up, and the thickness of that dotted line or line is increasing. So that is the dotted line which has been drawn on the solid boundary is called boundary layer. So what do you mean by boundary layer? This is in the boundary layer, what happens? The velocity varies. Velocity varies and usually parabolic. It is laminar. See, near at the surface of the solid body, the velocity is zero. That means the fluid particles adhere to the surface. The fluid particles adhere to the surface or stick to the surface. And that condition where the velocity of the fluid particles near the boundary is zero is called no slip condition. We will study this no slip. We have been studying this much since much earlier while discussing fluid flows in the pipelines also. So here, okay, forget about that the pipeline for the time being. Now we have taken a solid body of oval shape as shown in the figure, and a real fluid is flowing past the solid body, and see the fluid particles adhere to the boundary, and there the velocity has been shown zero. That means the velocity profile has been started from there, and see a vertical dotted line has been drawn, and on the boundary the velocity profile has been drawn, and up to the boundary layer, that is dotted line, the variation of velocity has occurred, and further vertical to the solid body, the velocity is equal to the velocity of the real capital. And outside the boundary layer, it is called free stream velocity. Free stream, where there will not be velocity variation. And when there exists a velocity variation, say du by dy, because the variation has occurred with respect to y direction as we move up the solid bone, that is in the vertical direction. There is variation from zero to capital. And such type of variation, if occurs, then there will be shear stress. The velocity gradient is because of the real nature of the fluid, or Newton's law of viscosity, which you have studied earlier, which defines tau is equal to mu dou u by dou or mu du by dou. So in that way, the shear stress in the boundary layer zone can be calculated. So at the what would be the shear stress near at the side boundary? So that is that can be calculated. Tau nearer the solid body or tau at y equal to 0 is equal to mu dou u by dou y or mu du by du at y is equal to 0. In that way, we can calculate the shear stress on the solid surface, and it varies continuously. And of course, it follows the law tau is equal to mu du by du. All these have not been shown here. These were uh, discussed in the earlier units. Okay, in that way, the shear stress okay, what is solid boundary? What do you mean by solid boundary? Shear stress. When does shear stress, where does shear stress arise on the solid boundary? The shear stress, the term shear stress arises within the boundary, within the boundary, and because of the velocity gradient du by du. The velocity gradient means variation du by du. So here you have to remember that this solid body is at rest, and whenever the solid body or the boundary is at rest, then only the velocity near the solid body would be zero. The velocity of fluid particles near the solid body would be zero when the solid body is at rest. And if suppose the solid body is also moving with certain velocity, then the fluid particles near at the solid body will have that much velocity where the solid body, how with which solid body is moving. So in that way, the no slip conditioning is applied to a solid body or body at rest or boundary at rest. So all these fundamentals are to be here. This is the only, the boundary layer theory is the only a little bit confusing and a little bit tough topics in the fluid mechanics, the entire fluid mechanics. What it requires more fundamentals which we had learned in the previous topics. The fundamentals, the mathematical fundamentals, integration, differentiation, etc. So as okay, signal problem. Here, as now, the no slip condition is applied to a solid boundary at rest or boundary when does not move. So the no slip condition is applied to only bodies at rest and when real fluids are flowing past it, not over. So here the Now, what do you mean by boundary layer? See, you can explain boundary layer in many ways. So, where the variation of velocity takes place when a fluid flows over a solid body or um, flows past a solid body. And a very small layer near at the solid body where the variation of velocity occurs. And uh, this variation of velocity is from 0 to free stream velocity in the direction normal to the boundary. And this narrow region of fluid is called boundary layer. So in this way, you can explain uh, what is meant by boundary layer. Now you observe here this very first figure is important for beginning boundary layer theory, and the theory which deals with the boundary layer is called boundary layer. And so this thin layer, how much thin it is, you cannot see, you cannot observe that much thin. So you cannot observe it and you cannot accurately scale it, but you can measure it by some equations, which we will deal with later. And they require mathematical background, a little integration background, not more than that. So this thin layer of fluid near the solid surface from the starting point. The starting point we call that as the leading edge, and we will see in the next slide the starting point where the dotted line or bound layer uh, has been started is called leading edge. So, and it has been drawn in such a way that the thickness of the bound layer is increasing as it moves over the solid bond. So, in that way, the bond layer formation takes place. So, a very thin layer of fluid, this layer is bond layer, and where the variation of fluid velocity occurs from 0 to free stream velocity in the direction normal to the boundary. So in this region, the velocity gradient du by du exists, and the fluid exerts a shear stress on the wall in the direction of motion. And all these have been uh, dealt in the very first unit. This the value of shear stress is calculated by tau is equal to mu du by dt. I told you, and in that way we calculate the shear stress. By using tau equal to mu dou u by dou y. Generally, we use dou u by dou y, but of course, du by du y is given. And at the wall or near the boundary, on the boundary, the shear stress tau uh, is calculated by tau at y equal to 0. That means near on the solid boundary is equal to mu du by dt at y equal to 0. And the remaining fluid outside the bound layer, the velocity outside the bound layer is of course constant and equal to free stream velocity. And because there is no variation of velocity outside the bound layer, the velocity gradient du by dy is 0. Because if u is constant, if it is capital U, then du by dy is d by dy of constant. It is 0. And because that is 0, tau is 0, shear stress is 0. So in that way, we explain the within what happens within the bound layer and what happens outside the bound layer. So outside the bound layer, because shear stress is 0, can you call the fluid some because for ideal fluids also tau is 0. Can you call outside the fluid outside the bound layer the fluid is ideal? It's not ideal, but the because of the fact that the velocity outside the bound layer and beyond the bound layer and beyond the bound layer in the perpendicular direction to the solid bound, the velocity is uniform, and therefore du by dy is 0, but not mu 0. So it is a real fluid only. But shear stress offered by that zone is 0. So in that way, there are two zones within the bound layer and outside the bound layer. What happens within the bound layer? What happens within the bound layer? There are so many things happening within the bound layer. So we have to respond within the bound layer. What happens? What factors have been dealt with within the bound layer? Okay, you observe, see, there are many definitions uh, regarding bound layer theory. The, the beautiful figure, because this is the fundamental figure, laminar in bound layer theory, where fluid flow takes over plate. Okay, what happens within the bound layer? Unless these are not observed, there is no meaning in going through uh, the entire one topic after one topic. Within the bound layer, what has been going on? Okay, still people are entering. Okay, within the bound layer, okay. At least, what do you mean by bound layer? Okay, it is a small layer, I said, which cannot be visible to you, which you cannot scale it directly, but you can measure it. Okay, for better understanding, this figure helps you a lot. See, a flat plate has been taken where a fluid flows over the flat plate with a free stream velocity capital. See, capital U is called free stream velocity. And now you observe the figure. There are many fundamentals given. First, point A, that is the starting point where the bond layer formation takes place. And that starting point is called leading edge. So every fundamental is important for the examination point. Leading edge. Leading edge. See, because this term will be used from now onwards in all contexts related to bond layer theory. So the starting point from where the fluid starts entering the flat plate, or when the fluid strikes the sharp edge of flat plate, that is at point A. That point is called leading edge. And there has been a bond layer formation shown. First, up to a certain length, there is certain bond layer formation has been drawn. And that zone is called laminar zone. And the bond layer formed in that zone is called laminar bond layer. And we will see in this context how we will decide. We will decide by some Reynolds number. Reynolds number. So this, I asked this definition of Reynolds number, or the equation of Reynolds number, many times in online classes. How do you define Reynolds number? This has been discussed in types of fluid flows, laminar flow, turbulent flow, etc. So in that way, the bond layer theory deals with many fundamentals, or many fundamentals are required to deal with the bond layer theory. Okay, how do you decide laminar or turbulent? If you don't respond going through these topics, the complicated topics, is meaningless. At least you have to respond to a few fundamentals. How will you decide whether a flow is laminar or turbulent? By Reynolds number, which is defined as the how do you define Reynolds number? Inertia force by viscous force. And in the pipe case, it is rho Vd by rho Vd by. Whereas in the flat plate case, which was discussed earlier, it is defined as rho u x by v, or ux by mu by rho, where mu by rho is kinematic viscosity mu. So in that way, Reynolds number, with the help of Reynolds number, whether the flow is laminar or turbulent, it will be decided. And similarly, it will be decided the laminar bound layer, whether bound layer is laminar or turbulent, will be decided by Reynolds number either. So here, see, a flow is flowing parallel to the plate, over the plate, and in the direction from left to right. That was shown in the figure. And here we consider the fluid flow over one side of the plate. You might ask, of course, because U is shown wider than the plate or on either side of the plate. But here you have to assume that the flow is flowing over the plate on one side. And here, because the velocity near at the solid boundary is zero for stationary objects, stationary bodies. Here also we assume that the plate is stationary. Stationary in the sense the plate is at rest. So the velocity of fluid on the surface of the plate should be equal to the velocity of the plate. If the velocity is zero near on the surface, that means the plate is at rest. Or if the plate is stationary, the velocity of the fluid on the surface of the plate is zero. So what is that condition called? Where the velocity, so if you draw the velocity profile would be that shown in the last figure. The last figure you have shown. See, the velocity profile has been shown in the figure. So what is the condition where the velocity near on the surface zero card? So this is very important for both objective as well as conventional questions. See, the condition of zero velocity near on the boundary or when the boundary is at rest, the velocity near on the boundary is zero, and that is called no slip condition. The fluid particles are assumed to adhere to the surface, stick to the surface, and therefore no slip occurs. And that is called no slip condition. Now tell me, what do you mean by no slip condition? So if u is zero on the surface, then that is called no slip condition. And if you move away from the plate, the fluid is having certain velocity, and a velocity gradient will be set up in the fluid near the surface of the fluid. And this velocity gradient develops a shear which retards the flow, which is nothing but shear resistance. Thus, the fluid with a uniform free stream velocity is retarded in the vicinity of the solid surface, and the boundary layer region begins from the leading edge. And you see at subsequent points, that means after point A, there are many points subsequent. Point B is there, point C is there, point D. So downstream, that means as we move far from A. So in the downstream, there are many points B, C, and D. See, the boundary region increases because the flow is retarded. And if we subsequently see the flow is retarded further, and that is how the growth of the boundary layer has been increasing. And now coming to what do you mean by laminar boundary layer zone? So the laminar boundary layer zone is the one up to the point where the Reynolds number reaches a value equal to 5 into 10 power 5 or 5 lakhs. Up to that point, that means till when the Reynolds number reaches a value 5 lakhs, up to that point, there will be laminar boundary layer. And that has been shown by the line A, and up to ln A, and that is called laminar. Now, see, suppose if I assume a distance x, suppose AB is equal to x, how can I decide x? That can be decided by RE equal rho U capital X by mu, where rho is the density of the fluid, capital U is the free stream velocity, and X is the distance from the leading edge, and mu is the dynamic viscosity. And you must be familiar with units also. The density of fluid in kg per meter, and velocity, free stream velocity, meter per second, and distance x meter. And dynamic viscosity, mu, Newton second per meter square. So if you use these SI system of units, then only the value which you calculate would be correct. If otherwise, if you use one parameter in SI system and another parameter in CGS system, you will not get correct value. Or you use RE equal to capital U into X by mu by rho, where mu by rho, how do you relate kinematic viscosity and dynamic viscosity? The kinematic viscosity and dynamic viscosity are related. Mu equal to mu by rho. Kinematic viscosity equal to dynamic viscosity by density. Then the kinematic viscosity will have the units of meter square per second. So in that way also you can write Reynolds number u x by mu. So near the leading edge of the solid plate, where the thickness is small, the flow in the bound layer is laminar. through the lamin, and afterwards it has been disturbed. The flow has been disturbed because the Reynolds number value exceeded 5 lakhs. At point B, the flow has been disturbed, and there some zigzag profile has been shown as the bound layer, and that zone BC, that zone happens up to a certain length, say maybe up to 7 into 10 power 7 Reynolds number value. Up to that value, the transition, what we call the region between laminar bound layer and turbulent bound layer is so transition. Transition zone means the zone where the laminar bound layer has been shifting towards turbulent bound layer. So there is a shifting of or transition, change of one bound layer to other bound layer. So this happens when the Reynolds number value exceeds 5 into 10. So what do you mean by laminar zone? The laminar zone is the length of the plate from the leading edge up to which laminar bound layer exists is called laminar zone. That is one way of defining laminar zone. Another way is the distance of point B from the leading edge, where at point B the Reynolds number value is equal to 5 into 10 power 5. And that can be, of course, the value length AB can be calculated by the equation RE x is equal to rho U x. See the turbulent bound layer in the figure, the last figure. There is a small line has been drawn within the turbulent bound layer. A small dotted line parallel to the solid bound has been drawn, and that is called laminar subnet. Laminar subnet. If the length of a plate is more than the distance x calculated from 5 into 10 power 5 is equal to rho u x by mu, or 5 into 10 power 5 is equal to u into x by mu. The thickness of the bound layer will go on increasing in the downstream direction. That means farther from point B in the direction of flow. Then the laminar bound layer becomes unstable and the motion of fluid within is disturbed and irregular, which leads to a transition from laminar to turbulent bound layer. So there is a short length over which the bound layer changes from laminar to turbulent, and that short length is transition. That is shown by length BC. If we move further downstream from point C, the bound layer is turbulent and continues to grow in the thickness. This layer of boundary is turbulent boundary layer, which is shown by line FG in the figure. You see the line FG. The difference between AE and FG, you can see. AE is slightly, there is within the AE, the bound layer, the velocity variation may be laminar, and within the turbulent bound layer, the velocity variation is considered to be flat profile. Flat profile. And the dotted line where it is drawn within the within turbulent bound layer parallel to CD in this figure is called laminar subgrade. Laminar subgrade. This is the region within the turbulent boundary and near the solid surface of the plate. And in this zone, the velocity variation is affected by viscosity. So, though the velocity distribution would be a parabolic curve in the laminar sublayer, in view of very small thickness, we can assume that the velocity variation is linear, that is straight line within the laminar sublayer. But actually, if viscosity effects are there, we have to consider it as a parabolic profile, slightly parabolic profile you can assume in the viscous zone. But the laminar sublayer is too thin to measure also. And therefore, a flat profile, a linear profile has been assumed. And the variation of velocity is linear. That means du by dy is linear. And or you can write du by dy is equal to u by v. Therefore, the shear stress in the laminar sublayer would be constant. That means, see, this figure. Shear stress on the surface within the turbulent bound layer or within the laminar sublayer near the solid surface is tau at y equal to 0 is equal to mu dou u by dou at y equal to 0. Because there is no variation of velocity with respect to y, we write mu u by y, or because dou u by dou is equal to u by y. So on the surface of the plate, you can calculate the shear stress by tau 0 equal to mu into u by y. So these are the important definitions related to bound layer theory. Laminar bound layer, turbulent bound layer, and within, in between these two, there is transition zone and leading edge, laminar zone, turbulent zone, and in the turbulent zone, there is laminar sublayer. All these are important for the examination point of view. Okay, we will see in the next class.